Hey class, I wasn't able to get the sound to work on my slideshow, so I had to upload a separate video for sound, so I'll just tell you when to go to the next slide. For my scaffolding lesson plan, I chose to do a geometry lesson for the 10th grade. Go to slide 2. The content standard I chose is Geometry 11. Students determine how changes in dimensions affect the perimeter area and volume of common geometric figures and solids. The learning objective is the learners will demonstrate their understanding of how changes in dimensions affect the perimeter area and volume of common geometric figures by computing the perimeter area and volume of different sized geometric figures. So my lesson will involve the students first finding the perimeter area and volume of 2D dimensions, just to refresh their memory on how to find those 3 measures. Then we will work with 3D figures and have the students actually handle some figures and find the perimeter area and volume and compare their measures with different shapes with different dimensions. So go to slide 3. The materials that we'll need for this lesson is paper, pencil, poster board, markers, square tissue boxes of different sizes, and rulers. So to start the lesson, go to slide 4. To start the lesson, a pre-reading activity I would do with my students is a KWL chart. The first column is what you know, the second column is what you want to know, and the third column is what you learned. So I'll have students on their own just jot down what they know about perimeter area and volume, and then I might ask them some questions about their formulas or maybe how they relate, but just to get them thinking about their background knowledge on these 3 topics. Then I might have them in partners talk about what they already know and share, and then I'll read them the objectives, and then I want them to come up with what they want to know during the activity. And at the end, then the teacher will have the students get in their groups, write down what they learned, and we can share as a group. And this will be a great way to see what all the students got from the activity. Go to the next slide. Slide 5. And that just talks about what I just talked about. I also did a slide on what my students would do during the activity, and they will receive a study guide that will guide them through their discovery of looking at different figures with different dimensions and their different perimeter area and volume, and seeing if there's a relationship with those 3 measurements. And they'll get in groups, and I'll give them each group 2 different size tissue boxes, and then they're going to compute the measures of those boxes. And once they do some discovering and answer some questions with their study guide, they'll then create a problem using different figures to build a picture. For example, a house with a triangle as the roof and a rectangle as the base. And they'll put some dimensions on it, and then they'll give another group the problem and tell them that they want them to either increase or decrease the dimensions by a certain number, and then the students have to build what the new figure would look like. Go to the next slide. So after the activity and the discoveries are made by the students, I'll have them write in their journal about what they learned, and this also will kind of go with the KWL chart, because they'll already have discussed what they learned. And then also they can let me know if they have any questions. And also I would probably have them apply what they learned to one thing in the real world. Like when would they use perimeter area or volume. And then last slide. So for the assessment, they'll present their final poster of their shape that they developed, and then also the students will take a chapter test.